Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of my estrogen imbalance deficiency series. And the first video I was talking about the symptoms of having low estrogen and how you know that you have low estrogen, why it's bad to have low estrogen, and this video is going to be talking about how I increase my estrogen pretty much. So I'll talk about the things that I tried that didn't work and the next measure I had to take to really amp it up because the first approach that I took wasn't working. So yeah, let's get into that. Okay, so of course initially my first approach, being a study nutritionist, was to use food as my way of increasing my estrogen. So for quite a while, probably a couple of months, I was eating things like soy milk, obviously. I was eating soy products in general, like tofu and tempeh, sprouts, edamame beans, maca powder. Maca powder is obviously really good for both females and males, but it's really good at increasing libido and just regulating your hormones. Also food that involved high amounts of iron, because my hormone and pathology test also showed that I was quite low in iron. And as we know that iron, and especially for women, our hormones go pretty much hand in hand. So increasing foods that have iron is also going to support your estradiol hormones to do their job as well. So tahini, I eat lots of tahini. I love tahini anyway. So sesame seeds, lentils, chickpeas, flax seeds. Flax seeds I had in small amounts because they're not too sure about, studies and researchers aren't too sure about the effect of flaxseed, whether or not it helps low estrogen or promotes low estrogen. So I didn't really want to go too far into the flaxseed oil world, especially flaxseed oil. Another thing I was eating was dried fruits, which I love anyway, so I was eating lots of dates, apricots, dried apricots, and dried prunes. So after a couple months of eating this way, I went back to the doctor, really eager to get my results and see what they were at, and then I was very quickly disappointed after my blood test and I got my results back. I was disappointed because he told me that it only went up a very small amount. I had quite a range to jump, and I thought that maybe after all those foods and everything that I would have at least have jumped into a healthy range, but no, I was still in the concerning range. I've only been eating that way for a couple of months, so maybe it takes quite a long time, like a year or something, or 2 years, to get that build up in the body to really switch over. Anywho, I digress. The measure that I took to increase my estrogen, because I didn't want to wait anymore, I knew it was quite alarming for the reasons mentioned in video 1. So the measure that I took was Google sterones, and I was taking them in capsule form, and I was taking them 3 times a day, 2 tablets at each time. So the range and the dosage that I was taking them was around the 1,000 gram mark, so around 1,000 milligrams mark, which is significant enough to really start making a difference. It depends on how low you are and where you currently are with your hormones. But yeah, I was taking quite a strong amount because I was low. But what I should tell you first of all is, what is Google lipid? It just sounds like a funny word. I know, it's Guggul lipid. Google sterones, Google lipid. It's actually been used for thousands of years, and it's mostly used for treating atherosclerosis, so heart diseases, or high viscosity of the blood. So it's used for circulation, for getting things moving around the body faster, but then also because it has such a high phytoestrogen amount, it's also used for hormone balance. So within the first 2 days, I was taking it 3 times a day, 2 tablets at each time, and within 2 days, I got my periods the next day, which is probably a little bit alarming. I shouldn't have taken that much. I should have increased my way up. If you were to take it, I would recommend starting off at maybe 2 a day, and then 4 a day, and then 6 a day, gradually working it into your system. but I just went rogue, and yeah, got my period straight away. And I continued taking this tablet probably a couple of months, actually, maybe about 4 months, but I didn't take the same dosage the whole time. I started off with 6 tablets a day, and then after maybe a month, when I got my periods again, I dropped it to 4 tablets a day, and I continued taking 4 tablets a day for probably like 2 months. And then in the end, I think I was taking 2 capsules a day. So I gradually wanted to wean off taking the capsule because I didn't want my body relying on it. I wanted to use the Google Lipid to get my body back to where it should be, like to pretty much force it to do its job. But I wanted to do it naturally in the end, so I used the Google Lipid for a couple of months and then I stopped. But then after taking Google Lipid, after my body balanced itself out again, I didn't want to get too positive about it. Think, yay, I fixed it. The capsules that I'm taking now are called Shatavari. And this is a combination of the Shatavari extract, Shatavari powder, and I take this once a day. And before this, I was taking another tablet called also Ayurvedic, or this actually the other one was Chinese, I think, but I was taking Dong Quai, which I can show you as well. But Dong Quai has similar properties as well, like it's good for regulating menstrual cycles. I will attach some links so you can have a read about these, because before you do anything, of course, you should be looking into what it is exactly, and if it counteracts other things, if it's harming other things in your body that you might have going on. So in saying all of this, I can understand how it's a bit overwhelming and a bit confusing. You don't know where to start when you realize that you have low estrogen. You think, should I go to the doctors and ask them to give me something? Should I start eating this and this? Should I take Ayurvedics? Just do whatever you feel is comfortable. Talk to your doctors, of course. Do some of your own research and decide for yourself what you want to do. Do you want to go the natural approach, or would you like to go down the pharmaceutical approach? I chose a natural approach, being a nutritionist as well. I started off with food, and when that wasn't working, I went for something stronger, being the herbs, the Ayurvedic herbs. And to be honest, I would recommend going straight for the herbs, for especially Ayurvedic herbs. They're much more natural. They don't have any chemicals, pesticides, yucky things like that. I don't want any of that sort of stuff adding to my body. And what you could do is you could start off with something like the Shatavari or the Dong Quai, and then do that for a couple of months. Take one, obviously, at a time. You wouldn't take this and Dong Quai. You would take one at a time. But if you started off with something a bit more calmer, a bit more milder like this, then you could do this for a couple of months and then get your tests done again and see where you're at. And if they've increased a little bit, or if you're still not getting your periods, then I would take a stronger approach, and then I would go for Google Lipid. And then take the appropriate dosage that you think that you would need. I would also say don't stress about it, because the doctor might say to you, oh, this is bad, I don't know how you're going to fix this, or whatever. But it is definitely fixable, and stressing to the matter isn't going to make it any better, obviously. But just take it easy on yourself. Your body's doing what it needs to do, and it's not doing something for a particular reason, or it is doing something for a particular reason as well. So just take it easy. The good thing is that you're onto it, and you know that there is a deficiency, and you're trying to take care of it. So yeah, I would say be more positive about the fact that you do know, because I was so grateful once learning about the menstrual cycle and how important all it is. I was so grateful when I started getting my periods back, and just really grateful that my body is doing its job. It's going to be a long process. It took me probably about 6 months altogether. So don't think it's going to happen in a day. Just take it easy, alrighty? But I hope that was helpful, and if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to add some links where you can read about these herbs as well, and some websites that I bought them from, and the brands that I like. I'll be able to show you there as well. So yeah, good luck, enjoy your day, and I'll see you next time.